guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Celia and I'm a Danish model, actress, conscious creator and angelic coach. We have just started on my Instagram Celia's Raw Vegan Journey, a raw vegan challenge where you can do anything from one raw meal a day to a fully raw vegan. Thought it'd be adequate that in this video we're going to talk about the 5 top benefits of eating a raw vegan diet, not only physically but actually spiritually. If you're new to my channel is all about becoming conscious creator. It's all about learning how to reclaim your power and to live a life of complete freedom, releasing all restrictions. And we are here to support each other in this. So if you're new here, please join the channel, hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride. And I found raw foods many years ago, back in 2012, where it actually helped me heal suicidal depression. I made another video about it here, and that is one of the reasons why I know how powerful it is. Number 1, raw vegan foods are the only foods that contain biophotons. This has been proven through Karud photography, that is basically how to take a photo of the life force energy in foods. Raw living foods are called living for a reason because they are the only foods that actually have the intact biophotons. As soon as you cook a tomato, a carrot or whatever, it destroys the biophotons. These biophotons, we don't know yet exactly what role they play, but scientists speculate that they are quite crucial in the communication between cells. And we as a living system also emit biophotons. This has also been proven by Karud photography. When our system is healthy, we will emit a coherent level of biophotons. But as soon as part of our body becomes ill, what happens is that the biophoton emission is disturbed. And what happens when we eat foods that are void of biophotons is that we disturb our own internal biophoton balance. Actually, we take away from our biophotons in order to process this food and try and make it into something that we can use as energy. On the other hand, it has been shown that if part of our body is ill, for instance cancer cells where the biophoton emission is scrambled, emitting it to a healthy frequency of biophoton can completely heal and restore it. So could this be that when we take in biophotons, we are actually taking in life force energy, and could it help heal our damaged cells? Yes, that's what it points towards. So there is a huge power in taking in just the living foods. We are eating the sun energy. Some scientists even speculate that what we try and get from the food is actually the sun energy, not the physical food in itself, but the life force, the sun energy is what we really need for ourselves. So taking in the foods with the most sun energy is what makes the most sense, and this is what raw foods are. Through Karud photography, it was shown that organic produce has twice as high levels as biophotons than conventional produce, and that wild foods, freshly picked wild foods, have 5 times the biophoton levels than organic, so 10 times the amount than conventional produce. Growing your own food is the most powerful way of getting in the most biophotons, and it makes sense because you take it directly from nature when it's been in connection with the sun, with the earth, etc. Scientists are actually also speculating if biophotons play a major role in awakening, because it has been shown now that the neurons in our brain, they communicate through biophoton emissions, and that the human brain can emit up to 1 billion of biophotons per second, whereas a rat brain can emit only 1 biophoton per second. And actually the biophotons that are emitted between the neurons in the brains are emitted in the visible spectrum of light, in the infrared frequency. This is quite interesting when you consider that saints throughout history have been depicted with a ring of light around their head. Could this be that their brain was functioning to an optimal capacity and emitting a lot of biophotons? Not only that, biophotons help raise the frequency of the system that they're in. So having our brain fully functioning could also mean raising the frequency of our consciousness in general. All the more that points to eating raw foods, raw living foods for awakening. Number 2, bioflavonoids and biochemicals. Let's look at another scientific reason. In fact, it has been hypothesized in the book Left in the Dark that a fruitarian diet was the main reason for our growing brain initially. When we were eating a fruitarian diet, our brain was working in harmony. It was working optimally with a healthy pineal gland. This was due to several different components such as bioflavonoids and biochemicals, and also due to the fact that fruits contain steroid inhibitors. According to this theory, when we were pushed out of our natural habitat and we had to eat foods that were less than optimal, such as cooked foods, animal products, it started inhibiting our brain. Suddenly we started taking in a steroid-rich diet, and our brain stopped growing, and also it created an imbalance between the two brain hemispheres, leaving the right hemisphere, the more intuitive, the more creative, the more feminine hemisphere, dysfunctioning and suppressed by the left hemisphere, which became overactive, which is the more logical, the more masculine hemisphere, also where we have more of the fight and flight response. So the theory of this book, which is supported by a lot of scientific theories, is that by eating a fruitarian diet, we are able to balance our brain again, and we're able to activate the pineal gland. And of course, a balanced brain has everything to do with awakening, because awakening is when we have complete balance between yin and yang, the masculine and the feminine, or as you will see, the left and the right hemisphere. That's when we can both access our intuition, our creative abilities, our psychic abilities, which are also mentioned in this book, along with our logical mind. And that's how we can navigate both the spiritual and the physical plane at the same time. I highly suggest you read the book. I also have a full chapter and explanation on this and how to communicate with the angels. Number 3, a connection with nature. You don't really get much closer to nature other than being in nature, of course, and then eating the fruits that are handed to us from nature. What makes more sense than picking the fruit from the tree or the vegetable in the garden? These are the fruits that are actually made for us. They don't scream for their lives. They don't run. They are made for us, and they are God's gifts. And for this reason, I highly believe that they're filled with everything that we need and more. But more importantly, because of the biophotons and the bioflavonoids, it allows us to connect more with nature. And nature has specific cycles and specific energy that allows for us as conscious creators to connect with something that is connected with the awakening that the planet is going through. Number 4, the foods are vegan. This is an important point. Spiritually, if you're contributing to the murdering of any sentient beings consciously, such as eating animal flesh, you are contributing to a collective karma of murder and pain and suffering. And I know that for many people, they don't understand this connection. They think that what they have on their plate is just, something that tastes good or whatever, feels good. But actually, karmically speaking, it is very, very, very dense and very heavy. And I always recommend any spiritual seeker, you must become a vegan, because you cannot base the premise of your life upon the suffering and death of other beings, especially when biologically you don't actually need it. Actually, it's harming humans to eat these products. Health-wise, a lot. We already know that there's already been tons of studies. The biggest nutritional study ever conducted showed that animal proteins are the main culprits of diabetes, cancer, heart disease, all of these major killers. Lots more study, I will put them all below. Go have a look if you don't already have them. Basically, apart from the physical, spiritually, we must respect all living beings. If we will respect our own lives, we must respect other beings. This is compassion, and this is operating from a place of connection and understanding that we are all connected. And a raw vegan diet, of course, has included this aspect because it's vegan. Finally, number 5 is hydration. This is not just any kind of hydration. Fruits and vegetables contain waters that are structured waters. They are very different than the bottled water you can get in the supermarket or drink from the tap. Structured waters are filtered, distilled waters. The fruits and vegetables distill the waters themselves. Actually, many water filters are based around fruits and vegetables because they are such effective distillers. The water you find inside of fruits and vegetables is some of the cleanest water you can find. And not only that, some people speculate that fruits and vegetables contain 2 different kinds of water. One is the bioactive water that helps our physical body, and then also another kind of water called cofactor water, which is a spiritually initiating water, which is something that serves our soul, serves our spirit. I can only confess to this, as this lifestyle helped me heal suicidal depression. It helped me awaken to a whole different path than I had ever been on. It's still important to drink water while eating a raw vegan diet, because we need around 4 to 6 liters of pure distilled water a day, and unless you eat a humongous amount of raw foods, you still need to add some extra hydration on the side. For that, I will recommend distilled waters as well. It can really help us decalcify our pineal gland. Pineal gland is the seat of our consciousness. It is the seat of our soul. It is the gateway to this higher dimension that we are working towards raising the planet to. It is mainly calcified through toxification, through the wrong foods, waters with toxins, through putting toxic things on our skin, all this kind of stuff. So a raw vegan diet really helps remove all of that, and then it helps add the waters that can help decalcify your pineal gland. So actually you can reactivate your pineal gland through a raw vegan diet if done correctly, and also if you do practices such as meditation, breathing, etc., because that's ways of cleansing as well. So all in all, a raw vegan diet is extremely powerful for spiritual awakening and for opening your pineal gland, for decalcifying your pineal gland and seeing clearly again. And that is one of the reasons why I talk so much about a raw vegan diet here on my page, because I know what a big difference it can make, and I know the difference that it made for me, and it can do the same for you. And that's why I highly encourage you to join this challenge. I know in the beginning it can be difficult to eat more raw foods, especially if you're not used to it, but it's like anything else, just a habit, and the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. So come join me at Celia's Raw Vegan Journey, where we will support each other every single day in eating at least one raw vegan meal, or fully raw if you want to. I will be sharing lots of different practical tips on how you can do it on these pages. I will also be sharing more video on my page here of the spiritual benefits of raw foods, because it is something everyone should know, in my opinion. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know in the comments, are you up to going raw vegan or having at least one raw vegan meal a day? Let me know and come join the challenge. If you want help to going raw vegan, of course I have my coaching program as well at becomeaconsciouscreator.com. You can go on the raw vegan coaching and I can help you there as well, either with a coaching tool or more elaborate coaching. And also do check out How to Communicate with Angels, where I talk about the scientific reasons of why a raw vegan diet is the best diet for awakening. I have a raw vegan recipe book as well, so don't miss that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the very next video. Ciao!
Make me